Hello Algebra 1 students, this is lesson 63. Our objective is how do you solve systems of linear equations using elimination. We've already talked about solving them with substitution and by graphing. Substitution is that three-step method, but now we're going to learn a new method called elimination. And in elimination, what we do is we try to set up kind of like this first one where the coefficients by one of the variables is the same number or are opposite numbers, like 8 and -8. Because what happens is then what we'll do is we will add these two equations together, and when we add them together, these two would be eliminated because 8 minus 8 is 0, so it'd give me 0 x's. Let's go ahead and work that one out, I guess. What we're going to do is we're just going to add these two equations together. So I'm going to say 8x plus a -8x is going to give me 0x plus 6y's plus 10y's is going to give me 16y's, and then 30 plus a -14 is going to give me 16. Well, it's kind of silly to write 0x's because that's just 0, so we don't really even need to write this part here. It's just going to be 16y is equal to 16. When we divide by 16, we get y is equal to 1. Well, now we have half of our answer, because remember our answer to a system of equations like this is going to be a point x comma y. We have the second half of that, which is 1. We need to find the first part of it. So what we'll do is we'll use that value that we found for y and plug it in up there somewhere. I'm going to plug in just this first one here just because it has positive numbers and smaller numbers. I think it seems easier. So I'm going to say 8x plus 6y, which we know y is 1, is equal to 30. So that means 8x plus 6 is equal to 30. Subtract 6 gives me 8x is equal to 24. Dividing by 8 gives me x is equal to 3. That's the other half of my answer. So my answer is going to be the point 3, 1. Now, it worked out really nicely in this first one. But notice here in the second one, these numbers have different signs, but they're not the same. And these numbers are the same, but they don't have different signs. They're both positive. So if I were to add these two equations together right now, I would not eliminate anything, and I'm trying to eliminate. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to multiply one of these equations by -1. I'm going to choose the top one, not for any particular reason, but just because. And I'm going to rewrite it right down here. So -1 times a -2x is going to give me a positive 2x. -1 times a positive 4y is going to give me -4y. Equals -1 times that -4 over there is just going to give me a positive 4. So now that I've done that, notice this is a positive 4, this is a -4. So these two are opposites of each other. So I'm going to then add these two equations right here, because I've changed that one to this one down here. Whenever I add, I'll end up with 6x plus 0y is equal to 24. Dividing by 6 is going to give me x is equal to 4. Again, that's half my answer. So let's find the other one. I'm going to go and use that first equation. -2 times x, which is 4, plus 4y is equal to -4. So -8 plus 4y is equal to -4. Add 8 to both sides. 4y is equal to 4. Dividing by 4, I get y is equal to 1. There's my other half, so my final answer is going to be 4, 1. now, as we move on to this next one, we're noticing that they're getting a little bit harder as we move down the page. Imagine that. Neither of these numbers are even the same. So that means I have to multiply one of these equations by an actual number. So if I choose y's, I can choose to eliminate either x's or y's. If I choose y's, I have to multiply this by something and this by something in order to get them to match. However, if I choose x's, I could just multiply this equation up here by 2 and make it 10. So it's going to be a little bit easier to go that route. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to multiply this first equation simply by 2. I chose 2 because 2 times 5 gives me 10, and this is a negative 10. So that would make it the opposite there of that. So I'm going to rewrite this equation down here. 2 times 5 is 10, or 2 times 5x is 10x. It'd be minus 12y is equal to 2. Now that I have that set up nicely, I'm going to add. I'll start on the right here. This is 3 is equal to 9 minus 12y is going to give me negative 3y. And then negative 10x's plus 10x's is 0. So to solve for y, I'm going to divide by negative 3. And I end up with y is equal to negative 1. Now that I have that answer, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. You can choose either one you want. I think I'll plug it in the first one, again, just because I think it's smaller numbers. So 5x minus 6 times y is equal to 1. So 5x plus 6 is equal to 1. Subtract 6. 5x is equal to negative 5. Dividing by 5, x is equal to negative 1. So then my final answer is going to be the x value here, comma the y value. They both happen to be the same this time. We'll plug them in like so. Alright, and then sometimes as we work through these, we can't find a good way to multiply either one of them, so we're going to have to end up multiplying both of them. So what I'm going to do on this one, because notice I can't multiply 50 just by some whole number to get 60, so I'm going to have to multiply both equations. So I'm going to multiply this bottom one by 6, and this top one I'm going to multiply by 5. Now I chose those numbers because 5 times 60 gives me 300, and 6 times 50 will also give me 300. This number is positive, that number is negative, so then I'd be able to eliminate my y's. So let's go ahead and try that here. I'm going to multiply 5 times that 42. Gives me 210 x's, right, times this, plus 300y is equal to 125. Now multiplying the second one here, 6 times 35, or negative 35, gives me 210, and this is going to be negative because it's a negative sign there. This is going to be minus 300y is equal to 6 times 15, negative 90. So what we're going to do is we're going to then add these two. And interestingly enough, in this case, this is what we call a special case. Notice I have 210x minus 210x, so this is going to give me 0 x's. 300y minus 300y is going to give me, well, just 0y's. And that's equal to, I think, 35. So on the left-hand side, just come out to be 0 is equal to 35. Well, I wish that was true, because then whenever I had no money, I'd actually have $35. But that doesn't come out to be true. This is a false statement. That's kind of my thought bubble here. Since it's going to have to be a false statement, you're going to say no solutions. Because these two lines are actually going to be parallel lines. Okay? Now, thought bubble here. If you end up with things that came out to be exactly true, like 0 is equal to 0, or maybe 5 is equal to 5, something that's always true, then this is whenever you'd say an infinite number of solutions. Okay? So if it comes out to be never true, like this, a false statement, then that's when you would say no solutions. If you end up with something like this that's always true, then you'd say infinite number of solutions. And you will have a few of these on your homework. I think 2 of these to give you a little hint there. Alright, your homework is a worksheet, which I already did 4 of them for you. So you should not get a 0. Good luck.